The fifth Democratic debate wrapped up last night with 10 Democrats taking the stage in Atlanta in what was a mild debate. The candidates united against President Trump and foreign policy also came up. We want to go to Washington and Jessica Smith. She has highlights for us from the night.
Yeah, Adam, it was a little more mild, a little more mellow than we've seen in the past. But I think the candidates covered a wider variety of topics in last night's debate. We didn't see them really focus on health care for a long, extended period of time like we've seen in the past. They talked about a variety of issues like housing, race, and paid family leave. They also talked about foreign policy, how they would handle Russia, North Korea, Saudi Arabia, and of course, the trade war with China. Let's watch.
And when it comes to China, we need someone that sees the long term, like I do, just like the Chinese do, because we have a president that literally makes decisions based on his next tweet.
The very time that China is breaking international rules, is practicing unfair practices, stealing technology, forcing technology transfer, and violating human rights, this nation is pulling away from critical allies.
We shouldn't have to pay farmers to take the edge off of a trade war that shouldn't have been started in the first place.
Another difference we saw last night was the candidates did not necessarily pile on one specific frontrunner. In the past, we've seen that happen with Senator Warren or former Vice President Joe Biden. And looking ahead to December, the next debate, so far 6 candidates have made the stage. 2 are close. They've fulfilled one of the 2 requirements. So we'll be watching to see if anyone gets a boost in donations or in the poll numbers after their performance last night. Adam and Julie.
Jess, we appreciate that. Paul, I want to throw this to you. I mean, we are still, Iowa's coming in less than 80 days, but the election itself is still a year out, just under a year. Other than the people who watch different echo chambers and are polarized already, who's paying attention that's going to make a difference on this?
Clearly, no one in my business is positioning portfolios right now for what may or may not happen in November of 2020. Look, we have no idea who's actually going to be on either ticket for sure come November 2020. Clearly, impeachment's still a possibility, although remote as it may be. And then on the Democratic side, look, Bloomberg may or may not be in. We don't know. Right. The top of their ticket keeps rotating, and it's going to keep rotating all the way into probably end of February. So now, I mean, no one's really putting their money behind any particular horse yet or positioning. Stocks are trading well. The economy is fine for now. It makes it harder for the Dems to run against the number one issue, which is the economy, but they're certainly having a lot of fun taking jabs at President Trump.
I mean, we have seen some sector moves based on things that the candidates have said, particularly in healthcare. I feel like there's a lot of sort of nervousness around that sector, right?
So intuitively, a year before every presidential election, healthcare is right in the crosshairs. Everybody wants to demonize healthcare. We're all paying too much money. You know the drill. Interestingly, the XLV, the Spider Healthcare ETF, is trading at and close to new highs. So you're not seeing the typical behavior. Right now, if you said handicap the election based on how the market's trading, the market's telling you that it believes that Trump's going to get reelected. It does not give Bernie or Liz any chance right now.
So at what point does an investor look at their portfolio and say, okay, I need to reposition pending an outcome that I can't predict until the day after the election in November of next year?
Here's what's not going to happen. We're not going to go to bed on election night in November 2020 with stocks at an all-time high, and let's say Bernie Sanders wins, wake up and the market's down 25%. It's not going to happen. Nothing even close.
Thank you for saying that, by the way.
Right. So I've heard
there are some money managers and investors out there who are saying the sky is going to fall if one of these Democrats.
It's a ludicrous and irresponsible proposition. If the Democrats or if the far left is going to win, you're going to see stocks peak in the first half of 2020 and then slowly grind lower into the election. That'll be a huge clue that Trump's in trouble. You also watch, as you mentioned, healthcare. If the far left has a candidate and healthcare begins to unravel into the election, clearly people are giving a lot of credibility to that happening. But for right now, the markets are not going to trade tick for tick on what happens at a debate last night or what somebody tweets.
Just as they haven't been recently anyway in the last 6 months. Right. I mean, the impeachment inquiry hasn't had that big of an impact on stocks, or really an impact at all. So.
And it didn't with Clinton either.
Because the base case is that there won't actually be removal, as you said.
And
I also think they don't care, yeah.
McConnell's going to keep all those candidates in Washington for 2 months instead of campaigning.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.